Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we're with two special guests. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Brandon Budd with Buck.
I'm Preston Budd with BuckShot Monster Truck.
Very cool. So just out of curiosity, could you tell me a little bit about yourself? Got involved in monster trucks?
I used to truck and tractor pulling. I had a 3-engine modified tractor for the longest time. Been doing that since I was 15. My granddad actually bought a house. I don't know, I guess I was 21 or so. Bought a house, monster trucks, and they run the same time in the pool truck. I helped them out here and there in the garage, and being asked to go to a few shows and crew and this, that, and the other. And about, 7 months in, he threw me in a seat, and been loving since. I drove for him for about 8 years, and then my wife found all the receipts from the pool tractor, so the pool tractor had to go down the road. So we sold that and bought our own monster truck and been living the life ever since.
Very cool. So it looks like this is definitely a family affair. You know, everybody's involved in it, looks like.
Absolutely. Part of it. My wife does the merchandise side and advertising and scheduling and all that good stuff. And then this year we added the mini monster to the group, and he's been kicking butt with that, so can't complain.
That's very cool. What do you think about monster trucks there, Preston?
I think they're actually really cool.
Do you work on the one that you drive?
I do sometimes. This is like my first time braking. Mostly I work on his stuff.
Oh, okay. So you work on the bigger stuff. So
yeah.
What is it like to work on a monster truck?
You know, it's a lot of people think there's a lot to these things. Me and my wife in 2020, before COVID hit, at the end of 2019, chassis and built a brand spanking new chassis. So once we got the chassis in the garage, powder coated, black, ready to go, it took what, 30, right around 30. Me and her had it completely together, ready to go.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we break them every day. If you do a show and you don't break something, not hard enough. And we got the. Everybody says, how many monster trucks do you have? I have one, but let me tell you, if I had another chassis sitting here, I put another one together. So we have everything in the trailer. It's a rolling shop on wheels. We fix everything on site or at the house, wherever we're at, and she'll run no matter what.
Very cool. What kind of monster truck is it as far as what model?
So Eddie Motzko chassis, which is pretty close to a CRD, which is what Monster Jam uses. We use John Gulick Racing Engines, builds our 540 big block Chevys for us, blown on alcohol. It's power. 2-speed power glide. Josh Garcia, JG shock specialist down in North Carolina. They do our shocks for us. We got 26-inch nitrogen shocks in the front, 30 in the rear. And
wow.
Man, that thing will fly, and it sails, and very happy with it. It's right now, I'd say it's one of the nicest pieces in the country. It's working, man.
That's very cool. So as far as the body, is it like a Ford or a Chevy or?
So BuckShot's it's a Chevy. We started out with a kind of unique. It was a Hummer. Started out with that, and then we actually got some toys made and couldn't get a Hummer mold, so we switched over to a Chevy. And I like Chevy better. The wife likes the Ford better. And then Preston actually has it's a off-road racing body. It's a Chevy version of off-road, like a desert racing body.
Okay, that's very cool. So as far as the mini one, how big is that?
So let's do a tire comparison. So I run a 66-inch Firestone. He is running a 37-inch Pro Comp tire. A 4-cylinder Honda motor out of a Honda CRV. It's a 3-speed, but we don't use third gear. It's always, first or second. And it's that thing will scoot, man. I got into it before we put his seat in it, and second gear topped out was all I wanted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's got, nitrogen shocks and stuff on it, just like mine does, just a smaller version of it. It's pretty neat.
So everything is about the same, just smaller.
Close.
That is so cool. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, it's they make all different kinds, so we have a third scale version. It's got a 4.9-inch in the rear, doesn't have rear steer on it yet. We're working on a half scale to get them bumped up to a half scale version, which it has more like a 44 or 46-inch tire on it, and it's got rear steer and all the good stuff. I actually have a blown small block in it, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
well, that's cool.
It'll be a whole different ball game for him.
Yeah. So, how do you like racing them there, Preston? Is it fun?
It's fun until snot blows in your face.
Have you won any races?
I don't compete for trophies. I'm just boogieing around, having fun.
Okay, so you just do it for fun right now.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
They do, right? They run the minis a lot, for the side acts and stuff, for the big monsters and stuff like that. So they don't really do any racing. They're just what's a good word for it? They're just a entertainment deal. But let me tell you, I think the crowd gets more into him and his mini than they do in my big truck.
Oh wow. What, if you don't mind me asking, what is your record?
Shoot, I couldn't tell you. So I ran second toughest tour. And I actually ran a Bigfoot body on my truck for first quarter from January to April. So I was Bigfoot. I couldn't tell you about records and stuff. I've won a lot of races. I've lost a lot of races, probably more than I've won. And freestyles, I've won a lot of freestyles, and I've broke a lot of stuff during freestyle. But
Gotcha.
It's more about the crowd and pleasing the crowd. And I've never heard of a crowd booming yet. So, shape.
That's a good thing. Have you what arenas have you done, and do you have a favorite that kind of sticks out?
We've gone up to Maine, down to Florida. Where'd we go? Prescott Valley, Arizona, Denver, Colorado. That's about as far west as I want to go. We're based out of Virginia.
Oh wow, whereabouts?
Culpepper, Virginia.
Okay, I'm in Roanoke.
Oh, okay, not too far then. I'd say my favorite spot to go is probably I don't know. We just came back from Virginia Beach. That was a lot of fun. We did a show down there, Monsters on the Beach, race on the sand, right next to the ocean. And I'd say second to that probably be Charlotte, North Carolina. They do it's a huge race course. It's a big over-under jump. It's I think the lap time on that's a minute and 30 or minute 40 seconds. I mean, it is booked around that thing, and it's a whole lot of fun.
So when you were starting up your own monster truck team, what all is involved in it other than, obviously finding a truck and building a truck?
So after my buddy for about 8 years, I knew a lot of contacts and stuff for promoters and stuff. So that was already in place. I actually found a truck out of Canada. It used to be Western Renegade. It was a rolling chassis. All it needed. We got it to the shop. Did a lot of upgrades. Added a whole lot of cars to the roll cage, and kind of got it up to my driving style. And put a motor and transmission in it, and working. I could have gone to work for some of the big name promoters. I knew the truck wasn't up to snuff quite yet, so we kind of stayed on the lower side of things till we got some better parts and some more spare parts and stuff like that. And then we've worked to where we got, and I mean, I probably got the best parts in the business right now. One of the nicest trucks in the country, my opinion. But
Very cool. Because I was always curious kind of what went into it. And I know there's a lot of design aspects and, finding parts and things like that. Now, when you're on the road, do you carry a lot of the parts that normally you would have to have?
So I got everything but a truck case. If I had chassis sitting next to me, I could probably put a whole truck together. We carry spare tires, spindles, knuckles, chains, plates, spare housing. We got everything. Spare shocks, all those shocks. We have everything to build on if we needed. What you need that in spare parts is, like I said, if you do a show and drive like you're supposed to, and you don't break something, you didn't drive hard enough. So
Right.
we carry lots of stuff. I carry spare motor, spare transmission, spare blower. I mean, everything. And
Now,
we got the Mini now, and Preston decided the last wheelie and kind of landed caddy. He ended up bending him and broke an axle and broke a 3-link bar. And so instead of just buying one, I always buy 2 or 3 of everything. That way I have spares. So now we have some spare axles. And it's
yeah, you're right. You'll never know when you're going to need something.
oh yeah.
It's better than have it and not need it than
Need it, not have it. Hey, the good thing about the monster truck, we're one big family. So if I don't have something, 9 times out of 10, one of the 6 or 10 or 12 other trucks that we're running with for the weekend, they probably everybody helps. It's an awesome industry to be in. I spend a lot of time entertaining other families and other people for a living. I hardly ever get to help me and do that. They see that when I'm out, I'm just by myself. I have mushrooms, and it's just a fun industry to be in, and we're loving life right now.
That's very cool. So, as the overall race aspect, are there any techniques to it? I mean, I kind of get the feeling that when you do jumps, that depending on how fast the wheels are spinning, it kind of gives you either a lift or nosedives down. Is that right?
Yeah, so it takes a lot of practice and a lot of getting used to, and Preston's working on it, trying to figure it out on when to get in the gas and when to get in the brake and gas so you don't break out. The big monsters, we compete in racing and freestyle, and I set my shocks different for each one. So the front end's really stiff for wheelies. I soften it way up for racing, and I'm right in the middle for freestyle. Just to give you an idea on how we set the truck up. And driving styles, I mean, everybody's got their own driving style. Like I said, you just got to remember when to get on the gas and when not to hit the brake. And please, Brandon,
Yeah. And it looks super complex, but I guess it's like riding a bike. Once you get used to it, you never really forget it.
Exactly. And Preston was you could tell when he first got into it with the Mini, he was trying to figure out when to steer and how to hit the gas, how much to hit the gas without rolling over, which thing, is on that. With turn, he's always going real slow, thinking he's going to roll over. So, and that was go to the bottom of the hill, cut your wheel all the way to the left, and pin it. Don't lift. And he did a donut and doesn't have a turn anymore. So it's just a learning curve. Getting better and better every week.
So, Preston, when you're driving, do you prefer to just race around and do donuts, or do you like doing jumps?
I
Or
like
wheelies?
doing jumps.
I can hear you. Yeah,
All right. We could hear you, but you couldn't hear us.
that's right. Yes, sir. So, what do you guys have coming up in the next few weeks?
So I leave Friday night. We go to a show in Ohio and West Salem for Monster Truck Throwdown. Come home, get the truck ready, and then I got to spend some time to get Preston's truck ready because he goes with me. We go to Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania for the Renegade Tour. We'll be running both Buckshot and Buck Wild.
Very cool. I think I found you guys on Instagram, but what are you guys on Facebook? And do you have a website or anything?
We're on Facebook at BuckShot Monster Truck, and Instagram, and we don't have a website quite yet.
Okay. So, as far as things that you compete in, have you ever done any of the monster jams or anything on the bigger scale like that?
So after Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, it's kind of a gray area with that. So Monster Jam is very political. They don't like the gun relation, so I can't run Buckshot. So I run Wasted Nights, and I run a couple arena tours for them. I did Baltimore here, I did Greenville, South Carolina in February this year. And then after Selinsgrove, I go to Foxborough to do MetLife Stadium.
Wow.
And I'm also doing Landover, Maryland, the FedEx Field in Landover. I'll do that the second weekend in June.
That's very cool. As far as I can remember as a kid, monster trucks was just the thing to go see. I can remember watching Bigfoot as a kid.
Yeah,
And,
to be able to represent them from January to April, I'm guys out there, and we run with them every other weekend, and to be able for them to ask me to put their body on and to represent them from January to April this year was awesome. It was a pretty cool deal for me and for our team and family, and we're hoping maybe to do that next year. Not quite there yet, but it's we had a lot of fun with it, and it was an honor to be able to represent. That's the first that truck started. We wouldn't be in this business if it wasn't for Bigfoot, and to be able to represent them was just awesome.
Yeah, just to be in an industry that you're passionate about, that's not really a job. That's fun. That's going to work to have fun.
My granddad told me a long time ago that 70 to 75% of your life you spend working. Do you want to work or do you want to enjoy life? So make sure that when you're working, you're doing something that you enjoy. So
yes.
Not many people in this world can say they race for a living, but here we are. We're living a dream.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. And definitely would like to try to do it again, at some point in the future, see how things have progressed for you.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys have a great night. Thank you again, Preston. Thank you, Brandon. And I'll definitely shoot you a message when this is ready to upload. It should be in the next week and a half, probably.
Sounds good. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.